Alright, let's talk about the WNBA goddamn playoffs. Let's fucking do this. I'm really excited about it. Last year I watched my first WNBA playoffs, but this year I'll be talking about it at least a little bit. I'll be watching all the games, or at least I'll be really trying to watch all the games if I have all the time, which I should have. That's how it's set up for me. And obviously, the WNBA playoffs first round series are played best of 3. Which means obviously you have to win 2 games to go through, and then semis and finals are best of 5s. And the last day of the regular season, the Dream secured their spot, even though even the Mystics won against the Fever, but the Dream beat the Liberty, and they set up a matchup with the Liberty. But of course, let me first say Caitlin Clark, most points in WNBA history as a guard from what I've read, which is goddamn crazy. As a rookie, of course. She's just different, and we know that. We've been knew that, right? But at the end of the day, it is what it is. It is what it is. It's crazy that she scored the most points by a point guard in a single season in WNBA history already, man. As a rookie, she's just getting started. She's been just sensational, and she'll have also her first playoff experience, which is of course huge for her for upcoming seasons. And let's talk about the matchups. So first of all, we have the Liberty against the Dream. In the regular season, the Liberty won the season series 3-1. Obviously, the loss coming today against the Dream. And I mean, the biggest thing here for the Liberty is that they've been a little sloppier lately. And Sabrina Ionescu has been really off since the neck injury. She's had some good games, but she's been inefficient after what was MVP type first half of the season. She's just not been herself for whatever reason, and she'll need to turn it up in the playoffs if they want to win the title, which of course they do. They have the home field advantage throughout the playoffs as the number 1 seed, which I should have really put here, right? It's the number 1 Liberty, number 1 Liberty versus number 8 Dream. But that's what scares me about the Liberty. And while Breanna Stewart has been really great on both sides of the floor, she's also been a little inefficient from time to time, but I think she can obviously go to another level in the playoffs. Jonquil Jones, I love her as a player, but she can run hot and cold, we know this. She just doesn't have that high of a motor, and if she did have a motor, she would be unstoppable, but she doesn't always have it. So that's the question, but they have a great coach, they have a really good rotation, they've been playing like a really, like the best team in the league, of course, since they're the number 1 seed. And even though I would say the Lynx have been playing as the best team overall in the second half of the season after the Olympics, the Liberty are certainly right up there, and I think they've done really well to empower their role players, or the others, or however you want to say that, because that feels kinda, it feels like I'm putting them down even though I don't want to, but all the rotational pieces have been playing well, I would say. The only question mark you have is Sabrina right now, I would say. That's the biggest question mark. Can Sabrina find her rhythm, get her efficiency going, and be the MVP type of player she's been in the first half? For the Dream, I don't know, man. They've played really good. They've been really better after the All-Star break. Obviously, that's why they made the playoffs in the first place. Ryan Howard is incredible. She's awesome. So I guess if she can find a way to be, to just go crazy, whatever, it can happen, of course, in a best of 3. You go crazy in 2 games, but I don't think the Dream have the chemistry. They don't have the defense, certainly. Their defense has not been that great. And offensively, they obviously will rely too much upon Ryan Howard, and when it doesn't go well, they've been hugely inefficient. So, I mean, I would say the Liberty win this in 2, but let me know your thoughts. Who do you think wins this series, and in how many games, and who will go through to the semis? The second series is the number 2 seed, which is the Minnesota Lynx, against the Phoenix Mercury, who are the number 7 seed. And I mean, they've been awful. They've been really awful. They've been painful to watch for, I would say, most of the second half of the season. There is just, I don't know, man. There is just nothing I want to point out that is positive, except I guess that, of course, Brittany Griner has had her moments and has had her flashes of brilliance, and she's really great. But I don't think they have a chance against the Lynx. The Lynx are just too great, well-rounded. They've rested their players today. Nafisa Collier, of course, both sides of the floor menace. They have the shooting. They have the chemistry. They have one of the best defenses in the league. The Mercury have struggled offensively, struggled defending the three-point line. So it feels like a huge mismatch in the regular season. The regular season series went 3-1 for the Lynx, which it's hilarious that all the regular season series have gone 3-1, 3 wins to 1 loss for the upper seed, which is just it's just funny coincidence at the end of the day. And I don't think the Mercury have a chance, but it is Diana Tauros's last postseason, maybe not. Of course, we don't know for sure, but it can be. So there will be some added motivation and emotion for the Mercury. They could make it ugly for the Lynx, but I think the Lynx win this in 2. I don't know, the Mercury would just have to have this magic because of Diana Taurasi, which, I mean, it can happen, right? It's best of 3, you never know. And those type of magical things tend to happen at the end of the day, but I think the Lynx will get it done at the end of the day. Then it's the Connecticut Sun against the Indiana Fever. Of course, Caitlin Clark will be hugely watched in these playoffs. The phenomenon, the player that brought this attention upon the WNBA, if you want to take it there, but I think it's been a whole lot of collective effort, but she certainly helped a lot. No, don't get me wrong, right? She's been a huge part of it, and I don't want to take anything away from her because she's a great player. And the Connecticut Sun won the season series 3-1 against the Fever, and this will be the classic, right? The Sun have struggled offensively from time to time with their efficiency and their shooting and their overall, shot creation, but they've been much better lately. They've really force-fed Breonna Jones, which I think is huge, and I think she's been incredible. I also see how well they've fitted Marina Mabrey into this squad, and she's been incredible for them. And I think they've made her role so much easier than she had it in Chicago. Her shots come so much easier, and that's why she's been so good for them. But the Fever, of course, have a high motor explosive offense, and Kelsey Mitchell and Caitlin Clark have been the best duo in the league in the second half of the season. They've been on a roll, so it's the classic offense-defense, right? For the Fever, it's obviously the defensive struggles that are there. We know that the Fever don't defend that well. They're not a good defensive team. Caitlin has certainly gotten attacked herself, so that's gonna be the intriguing thing. How well will the Fever defend against the Sun here in the playoffs? How will they perform defensively? Will they show way more pride? Will they show some improvement, some better schemes in the playoffs? Or will they just look awful defensively like, they've done for a lot of the season? But I also want to see how Caitlin just adapts, because we know they'll be forcing her more to go to her right. We know will try to take away those step backs to the left that she loves. And we'll see how she adapts. We'll see how she plays in this environment, right? I don't think the stage is too big for her, but it will obviously be an adjustment nonetheless, and it will be a great experience. While I do think the Sun will win, I think this will go to game 3, and I think the Sun will win 2 in 3. But I could see the Fever certainly upsetting the Sun. I could see it happening. I do think that highly of this offense for the Fever and of Caitlin Clark. And lastly, we have the number 4 seed, which is the Las Vegas Aces. They've been playing incredibly these last few games. They won tonight even without their 4 Olympians playing. Which, it's not like that big of a deal, but they did win, which is cool. And Megan Gustafson was sensational, Tiffany Hayes was sensational, and they are the X factors for me for them in these playoffs. But the Aces won the regular season series 3-1, once again 3-1. The Storm defensively just have struggles, slow starts. They can just have that quarter and slow starts where they just can't get clicking at all. But they do have a lot of good players. They've been playing better. They've had better chemistry. Gabby Williams has been really good. Skylar Diggins-Smith has been really good. They've all been playing better lately, but the defense has not been as great as I thought it would be. And the Aces defense has really stepped up a notch in these last 10 or so games. Asia Wilson, of course, the MVP of the season. The Aces have the experience. They will be rested. And they have all the confidence, they have all the bravado. I think they've proven to themselves how well they can flip the switch and how well they can play these last 10 games. And I do get the aces here. So that would leave us at, what is it, Liberty versus aces, and Sun, Lynx versus Sun. Which I would say, my pick actually is the aces. I think the aces will get it done. And it will be aces versus Lynx final, and I think the aces will get it done. As much as I would like to see actually the Liberty win, I think the aces will get it done again. But I'll talk about those series when we get there, and if they are these, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if the Fever upset the Sun, but I would be surprised if the Storm, the Mercury, or the Dream won a game even, really. But of course, that's the magic of the playoffs, you never know. And I'll be here covering it as always. Thank you all for listening, thank you all for watching, and I'll bring some other videos soon, hopefully. Thank you.